that said I might injure police officers, burn down police cars, or incite riots. And the way I knew about it is because people from the city that I had worked with told me that they saw this poster with my picture on it. Now, again, I couldn't do anything about this. Well, finally, in 2010, I get these documents that list me as a domestic terrorist since 2001, and the picture starts to become clear on all of the things that the FBI has been doing across multiple states to investigate me and to sow dissent, basically, amongst local and regional law enforcement.
Some of the redacted FBI documents that show the surveillance of you, Scott, have been posted on the New York Times website. One FBI report describes a meeting of an activist group that you were a part of saying, quote, most attendees dressed like hippies had dread looks, both men and women, and smelled of bad odor. Another report has extensive details on the contents of your trash.
I mean, those two incidences are just scratched the surface. The infiltration happened over and over again in different groups, in different events. There would be law enforcement and informants and people gathering information at all different levels: city, county, state, and federal authorities. And private security too. It's a revolving door between that sharing information and all of these things. Going through the trash was part of it, but really, what to me, what I think we should talk about is that how much money they spent investigating me and not charging me with anything. You know, like if I'm the tip of the iceberg and there's other people in other communities that they're doing this with, how much is the government spending to do something like this? And what kind of chilling effect does it have on activist communities and on us as citizens in this country?
How extensive, in terms of throughout the United States, was the monitoring of you, Scott? What have you figured out at this point?
Well, they investigated me in 9 states. Like I said, in 12 field offices. There was 5 informants. There was one in Austin, 2 in Houston, 1 in Dallas, and 1 in Detroit. I could only identify 3 of those people. The other ones I can't even identify who they are, people I might have come in contact with over and over again. But they're targeting. But what we found out through these FOIAs and through other FOIAs that
they went out to the IRS to investigate you as well.
Absolutely. They sent a letter to the IRS to see if they could get me for tax evasion. And luckily, my partner Ann and I had always had our taxes done because we'd owned our own businesses for the longest time. And they found that IRS came back and said that they couldn't, there was nothing they could do about it. And there seemed to be a consternation at the FBI about that. They also used closed-circuit television on a house in Dallas that I lived in, and then in Austin, where they put cameras on poles across the streets from my house. The levels that they went to, I think, are unimaginable to most people because it's what you hear about in movies or what people fear the most about it. But pretty much anything that you can think of that they did, except for kicking my door in, happened to me. I was threatened with grand juries, the trash digging, which they did on 2 occasions on the trash digging, being visited at my work and visited at my home. You know, Mike German spoke to earlier how they try to put pressure on people to give information. I was first visited by the FBI in 1999. There's the first time I ever heard the words domestic terrorism and animal rights used together. And also, and not only did they try to implicate me in some crimes in Dallas, or say that I had, or suggest that I had some responsibility for those crimes, then they try to use that pressure to get me to give information on other people.
No, you were.
And so how many people is that happening to across the country?